What's going on YouTube? This is AtomicKev Collectables coming back at you all with another figure unboxing and review. Today we are going to be looking at, from Mattel, the brand new Jurassic World Legacy Collection Reimagined Real Feel Triceratops. Super excited to get into this, so let's go ahead and break this baby open. But before we do that, I do want to take a quick look here at the box because it is absolutely gorgeous. I love what Mattel did with this. So starting off with the front here, we have this reimagined here with the old Jurassic Park camo that you see on the Ford Explorers there. Obviously, this is from Mattel. It's going to say Real Feel Texture Realiste Triceratops here. Jurassic World Legacy Collection, and then here is the Jurassic Park logo. So I think this line is actually combining their 93 Classic with the Jurassic World Legacy Collection. So like if those two had a baby, that's exactly what the Reimagined series is kind of like, in my opinion. I love what they did with the box. They have this jungle background here that really just paints a beautiful picture to have this Triceratops in. And then even on the bottom, there's like this little river. There you go. So you guys can see. It's like it's standing in a river. So I love that they did like a backdrop with this because it really sets up the imagination here. Quick look at the side of the box here. It's just going to say Jurassic World Legacy Collection. And back of the box is going to be really gorgeous. You have this orange pattern back here, the Reimagined logo here in the corner. Then it's going to have the figure here in the middle. You have this little scan thing or QR code, so that way you can go ahead and use it with the mobile app. Then you have the Jurassic World Legacy Collection here in the corner. Without further ado, let's go ahead and crack it open. So I have my trusty blade here. Gonna go ahead and cut, without hopefully cutting myself, cut it from its restraints here without damaging the figure. And then let's go ahead and reposition this. The bottom here has this little pull-out tab, so I'm going to go ahead and do that without hopefully damaging the box too much, because I would love to keep this. There we go. And then inside there's these little twisty tabs. It says to twist in this direction to unlock the figure inside. So I might do a quick cut while I do this part, so that way I don't bore you guys on camera. And here it is out of the box. Let me go ahead and move this over here. First impressions of this guy, I'm just blown away by the skin texture detail here in the actual rubber part of the figure, which makes it a real feel. So let's go ahead and take an even closer look at the Mattel Real Feel Triceratops. So starting off with the face or the portrait. At first, I didn't recognize it or see it, but there are painted pupils there. They are very, very lightly painted. It looks like they're glossed over with that yellow or that mustard color that they've used on this thing. Also, you can see that there's a little bit of differentiation with this darker blackish green here that transitions into this more olive-looking green. Love what they did with the beak here. Look at all of the texture work in the beak there. Very, very nicely done. And then they also managed to add these cracks in the horns of the figure there. So that's a really nice touch. Love the texture work that they did along the back frill here. Very, very nicely done. Honestly, I can see this being a really, really badass repaint. I don't know how the paint would absorb on this rubber part, but, you know, it would be really interesting to see somebody paint this up really nicely. Transitioning to the body of the figure here, you get nice texture and skin work here on the figure proper or the body. I will note that this is where the rubber begins. Up here, it is a hard plastic. Both, I mean, this is a little bit more of a softer hard plastic, so it is malleable. It is not sharp, as you can see here. Same thing with here. It is not rubber. The beak is not rubber. The head, all not rubber. So this is where the rubber actually begins of the real feel. Transitioning to the legs and body here. Love the muscle definition and the skin creases here on the back of the legs, as you can see. Front of the legs are going to have that muscle definition and the skin texture as well. You have the scoots here erased on the body. Unfortunate that the nails are not painted, but I mean, if you really wanted to, it is a harder plastic down here, so you could take a paintbrush to these if that really does bother you. Top of the figure here, you're going to get this nice backwork texture here and the scoots. I do like that you get the same, well, actually it's a different color now that I'm looking at it. So it is this darker green that is up here for the stripes of the Triceratops here. And then that does continue on down to about midway of the tail where it does end and cut off, unfortunately. Now, I know this is a $30 kid's toy, but it would have been nice if they would have finished that all the way down to at least the tip of the tail. Bottom of the figure, you're going to get that nice belly work down here. It is a lime green, it looks like down here, different from the rest of the figure. It does start about right here towards the bottom of the stomach of the Triceratops. Looks like there's a different color here. So again, I think maybe this has to do with the material and how it absorbs the paint. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but you do see the insert here of where the hard plastic is inserted into the rubber figure here. So I don't know if, again, if that bothers you, you might want to take some hodgepodge and cover that up and sculpt it. But if not, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal to me. I don't really look at the underside of my dinosaurs. You also have the weird little pattern down here where the sound comes through, which I will play for you guys in a sec. There's the QR code for those of you who want to go ahead and scan this in to your app. And then you have the Jurassic Park logo here on the other foot. Going back towards the tail, again, this is the rubber area here as well. Has nice little skin ripples that go all the way down to about midway on the tail where it stops. Now let's go ahead and use the sound feature on this thing. It is located right back here. So let's go ahead and press that. That is sound 1, and then sound 2. Let's see if there's a different one. I think that's sound 3. And that is sound 4. I believe that's a repeat sound. So there's 4 different sounds that come out of this. So that's a really nice touch. Now let's go over articulation. So we'll go ahead and start at the head here. Obviously nothing at the horns, but you do get a nice ball joint here on the head. So you can go ahead and put his head down like he's going to charge, or you can go out to about yay. That's how far it goes right, how far it goes left. Let's go with the front legs. So you do get nice articulation here. I believe you can do a full, no, you can't do a full 360. So it goes to about there, and then back there is the farthest it'll go back. You also do get a nice little swivel here at the legs. That is going to be present at the front leg as well. I think this one you can do a full 360. Yep, just did it. Normally I don't do that with my figures. Thank you. All right, and then let's go ahead and look at here. Back of the leg, it is a socketed one, so it does have a clicking mechanism in there. Same thing with the back leg here as well, so it can go about yay, and then that yay forward. Let's check the tail articulation. I believe there is, oh no, there is not. So there is no metal wire in there, so it is pretty stiff. So you can move it around, I guess, and wiggle it around, but it's not going to stay anywhere that you put it. So altogether, there are 5 different points of articulation on this thing. Now, before we go into our regular side-by-side comparisons, one special side-by-side comparison I wanted to bring to your attention really quick is the 93 Classic refill here. As you can see, they do scale pretty well with each other within the same line. I would say that this is an appropriate size for a Triceratops to be next to a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And then one last side-by-side comparison I want to bring to your attention is the Hammond Spinosaurus. So this is what it looks like next to it. I think it scales pretty darn well with it, and it's an appropriate size. And this is a dynamic shot of the Triceratops getting ready to defend itself against this monstrosity. And with that, let's go into our side-by-side comparisons. Namu, Iron Studios again, Rebirth Spicklipus, Jurassic World Rebirth Lab Lockdown T-Rex, Hasbro Extreme Camo T-Rex, 93 Classic Real Feel T-Rex, Power Devour T-Rex, Extreme Chompin' Spinosaurus, Hammond Collection Spinosaurus, Godzilla Bandai, YMSF, Haya Exquisite, SH Monster Arts, Super 7 Super Kaiju, Gallery Diorama, 1/6 scale Hot Toy, X Plus 30cm series, Finger Puppet. Final thoughts on this guy. This is a truly spectacular figure. Honestly, I'm super blown away for a $34 figure. This is pretty darn nice. So I pre-ordered mine on the Target website. I know that they are releasing right now. So if you want to pick one of these up, head on down to Target because they are going to be released very, very soon. Something that I particularly enjoy about this figure is that it looks very, very reminiscent to what the Triceratops look like in the original Jurassic Park movie. So I do really appreciate that. And then also I can see a bunch of people coming in and repainting these to look absolutely beautiful. So if you are a huge Triceratops fan, I would definitely 100% recommend picking one of these up before they sell out. Or if you want to pick one up on clearance, then you can go ahead and risk it for the biscuit and wait on this guy and see if it does go on clearance or something. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, is this something that you would pick up? Or is this something that you would skip on in favor for a different figure? Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so that way you can stay up to date on all of these channels' unboxings and reviews. Up next, we are going to go ahead and move forward with this guy here. And then we will go ahead and do that 30cm figure that I promised. I'll go ahead and put a reminder up here so you guys can see which one I'm talking about. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.